Christina Milner.
I'm Lauren Palace.
And I'm Lauren DuBois. We're talking a little bit about job opportunities in the military for both digital media and public relations. So we're going to start off actually talking about the public relations end. I decided to talk about this because, unlike both of them, I have a concentration in PR. So I wanted to look a little bit more at something that I would be more familiar with. So in every single military branch, there is a PR specialist or a public affairs officer. And basically what they do with the job is they try to communicate about the military without jeopardizing national security. So they're also doing a lot of like crisis and risk management, stuff like that, with all of the foreign affairs and stuff like that. I've said that twice in a row now. But
It's kind of like Yellowstone. Yellowstone. They do the PR specialists. They do a lot of information on Yellowstone.
Oh, well.
Because the military bases supervise that.
I did not know that.
Don't know how I knew that.
I don't know how you knew that either. But so it's very similar for a lot of the requirements for throughout the branches. So you need a 4-year degree in all branches, and some of them don't specify if you need a communications degree or not. But I know that for the Navy, they specifically asked for your degree to be in communications, journalism, marketing, motion picture production, industrial relations, or photojournalism. So I was really surprised about that because I didn't really think of like motion picture production to be like this whole public affairs thing.
Now, is motion picture production like animation? Do you know that?
I'm actually not sure about that, considering pretty sure we don't have that major here. And also, that's not a major that I've ever personally looked into. But I'm pretty sure that it's probably mostly film. So I guess, it makes sense because they need to have that promotional content. But I don't know if, like, for that major, if they focus on a lot of communications aspects of this. But I was kind of unsure. I don't think that you really need to enlist, but you have to go through a lot of, like, a bunch of training. So you need to do, like, basic officer leadership courses, and you have to be eligible for a security clearance.
So civilians can contract in to get this job, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just you have to be going to basic. You can be a civilian, have the qualifications, apply, and get the job with a couple classes.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. There's, like, some different qualifications. Like, you have to be between 18 and 34 years old. I don't know if that means, like, once you turn 35, you can't have a job anymore. I don't know. I was kind of curious about that one. But there's another one somewhere. You can't have, like, issues with, like, emotional instability. This is for the Air Force. They said that you can't have that, personality disorders, or unresolved mental health problems. So personally, I could not do the Air Force one. So that's a little bit awkward, but I feel like that honestly might change. Because a lot of people, like, our age have suffered from depression, anxiety. I know that me is one of them. Like, it doesn't affect me in order to, like, do my job, really. I mean, I guess it really depends on how severe it is. But I feel like that's going to change a lot in these next upcoming years because of how many people would be unqualified because of that.
And I know MEPS, like, one of their things, just from knowing, like, family members that have gone through the military process, is you have to be off any medications for a certain amount of time, and you have to have basically someone saying that you are qualified and okay to be there. But as long as you're off them for, I think it's 6 months to a year, you can go.
Yeah. I just still really feel like there's going to be a lot of reform in that. So hopefully people like me and like a lot of people can go into this job if they want to. Because, like, the pay is really, really good. I kind of, like, did a generalization. So you can make anywhere between $53,000 to $109,000 with this job. That's insane,
That's
especially.
a huge difference.
Yeah, just like 6 figures. I want to make 6 figures.
Yeah, right.
But I'm not qualified because, depression, anxiety, and it just happens. But I feel like they're definitely going to change a lot of things. But other than that, the only thing that I noted was, as an employee, you'd have a military ID, so you'd have a lot of benefits. You'd get insurance, I'm sure. I actually didn't look into that, but I do know that usually it has insurance cards and all that on it, and you'll be able to get tax-free things and a lot of deals, so I love going to the Navy Exchange personally.
I do love the NEX.
Yeah.
The NEX is a very cool store. But going on to the digital media aspect of it, there are a lot of different careers that you can do. And personally, I know the Marine Corps, Navy, and Air Force and Army all each have a version of videographers and photographers that we can go into, and they actually request that we have like background before coming in working with cameras, and in each thing you're going to have different types of videographers. So Marine Corps, you're going to go into combat and you're going to be doing the combat videography, so you're going to be right on the front line but just behind the camera. And then Navy, they focus on drones shots a lot because they want to get pictures of their aircraft carriers, so they specialize in drones. You can do cool stuff like that. And then Air Force really focused on public affairs. Like, that was what Air Force really did, alongside making sure that we have pictures of everything that we use and we show that we do have a really good military and everything. But another really cool job that I saw, and that kind of relates directly to what we're doing now, literally, is audio, visual, and broadcast technicians. And these people are going to be the ones that you hear. They're going to be the ones going over and calling all the shots and making sure everyone knows what's happening. And so you kind of get a whole bunch in there, and you get paid $63,000 a year to do it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really cool stuff when it comes to the salaries. What I also noticed when I was doing research and stuff, I noticed that different branches kind of call it different things.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but a different name.
Said differently. Yeah, so I know for the U.S. Army, they were using the term camera operator a lot, but then the Navy was using mass communication specialist, and I couldn't find much of a difference in what you do for the Navy versus the Army, except combat. There's they need a lot more people to do combat shots and videos with the Army, but for the Navy it's a lot more of that kind of commercial aspect.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen those commercials before YouTube videos where it's
it's the big giant aircraft
carrier
coming
flies
towards
away,
you.
and it's someone looking off in the distance, and it's we're stronger together. It's so that was made by a videographer essentially.
Yeah.
Or someone who's a mass communication specialist, which I thought was pretty interesting.
And someone got to edit it. So.
Yeah.
That is true. I know salary kind of does depend on branch, like we kind of discussed. Let's see. So videographers for the Army, it seems to kind of go from a $45,000 a year to a $60,000 a year range.
Yeah. $60,000 seems to be your cap
Yeah.
for most editing video. It's going to be $60,000.
Yeah.
Before you're you get deployed and then you get all your added on stuff.
Yeah. I will say that if you do want to get a job in this field, if you go to the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy's official website, I'm sure same with Marine Corps and the Air Force, you can find there's a tab where it's careers, and there's a tab on the U.S. Navy website where it's unique careers, and that's one of the ones listed. But I also found on careersinthemilitary.com has a tab that tells you specific videographer jobs, kind of like Indeed would, where it's this place is hiring. Apply here. It was something similar to that. I know right now the U.S. Army is really hiring combat videographers, and the Navy is currently hiring a multitude of multimedia cameramen. So just things like that.
It's going to be really cool just to see, you think about the military and you solely think about the fighting and everything. You don't think about the backup things within everything. And it's really cool to see how you can go from public relations all the way to recording on a camera, but still doing your duty and serving the country. And it's doing what you love at the same time. So it's really cool.
Would you guys do this job?
If I could, yeah. If I could.
Well, overall, the military has a lot of jobs for everything, and there's something for both y'all and me. So it was really interesting to like look into it and see what we could do. But I think this has been like really helpful to think about more of our future.
Yeah, more options for after college.
Yeah, I think so.